Hello, and yes, I finally found where everybody is. I was actually recording on another live stream. Give me a 5 by 5 if you can hear me um, in the chat. Please let me know if we are live. It sure seems like we're live. I hope you can hear me good and clear. So I am so sorry if you guys waited around too long last week. Last week was I was on the boat. I was trying to get it done. I was trying to get your thanks, Ken, 5 by 5. Love it. I was trying to get anyway, it was a long story, and it only got posted on my channel, and it didn't get posted in the live stream. And I take full blame, and that was me. Sorry, sorry about all that. I'm here tonight. My notes are on the boat. So, we're just going to go ahead and, I don't know, try and remember what I wrote down a week ago about tonight's show. And I was so excited about it. So what next, Al? We're going to have to go ahead and do that show next week. And that show, if you remember me talking the other day, I was going to go over evaluations, and I wrote out all these really cool evaluations and these charts and what I was going to use and the way I was going to do it. I wasn't going to go into the charts and stuff. I find charts boring. I know a lot of people like them, but there are so many people that do charts and charting that really, I don't think we need another one of those guys on the internet. Yeah, I am so excited about the text and the emails and the posting the last 2 weeks. What I'm going to do tonight is something that hit me the other day. Everybody is in the comment section underneath my videos and everywhere else. They're trying to say, Allan, hook me up again. Tell me what happened. What do you mean by the ETFs? What do you mean by me making 5% a month? And I don't explain. Show me where to do it. And it's like people, you know how we all are. We have the attention span of a goldfish, most of us, self included. We get lost in a sentence or two that we want to hear, and then the rest of it's like, oh, well, I got to find that. Where is that? Where's he find it? Show me the link. It's not there yet. We're not there yet. In particular with XRP, right? We're not quite there yet. So tonight, I really want to open it up to some questions. I really want you guys, in a few minutes, the second half of the show, we'll do questions. I have a hard dead stop, okay, tonight. I'm meeting with the camera crew and some other people that are going to present the Vegas show live. It's going to be brilliant. I love it. The people they have behind me, the people that believe in myself and my son, pour themselves out and help us in ways and manners that would cost ridiculous amounts of their personal time and money, and they reward me in ways that when you first start a channel, you're like, well, I don't know what I have to say. I don't know who I can help. What can I do out there? What can I do for people? So you research and you put out the content and you do it for people and you find avenues for people, and you think, oh, well, it's a one-way street doing all that. No, it's never been a one-way street for me. It's always been, I give 10% and you guys give me 90% back. And anybody that does this understands exactly what I just said. The opportunities and the people that believe in my son and I and this channel and the people in this chat right here that's to say, I see all of you every week and I love you all. It's an amazing thing we have going on with this family right now. It's incredible what I have after this show. I'm doing a meetup with people that are giving up their lives and their livelihood for a week to come help me successfully succeed. Can you imagine that? Have you ever had somebody do that for you? Like, how do I repay these kind of people? And I know they're so genuine in the sense that they're like, we don't care, Allan. That's okay. We're doing it for you. We want to see this thing work. It's so overwhelming at times. It really, really chokes an old guy up every now and then. You're just like, I can't believe that just happened. It's like, wow, they're going to do this, and then they're going to do, and it's pretty exciting to be part of this community. And you all, I know, you think, oh, well, nobody knows who I am. I just post in this guy's channel and that guy's channel and a few other channels. Nobody really knows who I am. You are the nucleus. You are the reason that this, whether you like XRP or Bitcoin or Cardano, whatever your coin is, okay, you are part of that nucleus. You are the energy behind the product. It's not just how many coins you own. It's your energy and your desire to gain and grow and learn with all the rest of us that makes the universal energy go in the direction of that coin and that project and these people. And then those people spread out into some other channel and then another channel, and then it circumvents the world. I mean, it's so powerful and so large, and you're part of it. You're the main part of it. I know you think, oh, my favorite YouTube people are, those are the biggest part of the whole. No, Brad Garlinghouse is not the biggest part of this whole thing. I know we think that way, right? We've always been taught that, oh, well, without Walt Disney, Disney wouldn't be Disney. No, Disney wouldn't be Disney without the people that went there. That's the period. That's it. Your nation is only as good as the people in it. You are the driving force of this. So I want you never to forget that and to always understand where we are. Because not enough channels probably tell you that. And I probably don't say it enough as well. Okay. Tonight, fun little story. I've got Professor in here. He sent me something. A few people sent me this one, and it's so good. I love you guys. You guys, last night I got pounded with these texts of like, oh, did Ripple almost bought the Circle? Oh my God, did you see this, Alan? I almost, and it's such a great way to share, the way we can just text each other, and it's awesome. I love it. They didn't, I shouldn't say we. No. Anyway, hopefully you can still hear me. My video went out for a minute. We do have thunderstorms and lightning. Yes, very, very frightening. I want to talk now. I'm not trying to say I got anything right or had anything figured out, but you can look back in 2021. I did a video, and I believe the title is Bitcoin versus XRP. And in that video, I went at length to tell everybody in the XRP army, you are not at war with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not the enemy. They are not your problem. Ethereum is not your problem. Solana, not your problem. Okay? What your problem is, the true competitors, you can look this video up. It's 4 years old now. Your true competitor is a little company called Circle. And everyone argued with me, oh, no, I don't know what you're talking about. No, you're wrong. That's a stable coin. We're not a stable coin. And no, you don't get it, Alan. You don't understand what XRP is. And I was like, somewhere in that video, I had mentioned that one of the two companies would purchase the other company. And it's not because I'm psychic or a genius or anything along those lines. What I'm talking about here is it's money, or it's digits, or it's the value of the digits and the way they're transmitted around the planet. From that level up is what my vision, understanding, or beliefs and lifelong experience helps me with. Those are the equations that rack through my brain on a day-to-day basis. Many of you, might understand the utility in the use case around the world probably a lot better than I do, but I understand how banking and money and digits get worked. I understand the stinky old Ivy League money that's sitting in, banks for generations and generations. And I know their lack of futuristic belief and wantage of your wantage. Is that a name? Is that a word? Wantage? Where's that one? They don't want technology coming to their private little club. So in that video, I had mentioned, I'm not a big fan of Circle. Don't care for Circle. Don't like it. Don't appreciate them. The characters behind it, I was like, man, I don't trust any of those guys. And they're connected, and they were connected to these people. And so I followed the family tree, and I thought, not a big fan of that group. So one of us is going to get in the way of the other one. A vision I had way back when. Turns out, Ripple saw it too, evidently. And Ripple said, look, we're not just going to go ahead and buy this company because it's going to give us, and most people in XRP are thinking, well, it's just going to give us a bigger market for, RLUSD, which it clearly would overnight, which would be huge, right? You'd be immediately the second largest stablecoin. But it's bigger than that. Many of you may or may not understand this already, but it's virtually, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's virtually impossible for Circle, I keep calling them Circle, USDC, to catch Tether. And I know many of you don't want to hear that because Tether's the evil dragon up on the hill, and I get all that stuff. That's not actually factual, but I don't want to get in that in this video. You've been told that by a lot of people, but I don't know. That's not holding water necessarily going forward. But I'm but one man with one idea, and I believe that I could be wrong, and I'm wrong all the time. What you're really achieving by doing that is eliminating market share. You're taking their power, their network, their ability to go around the world virtually, and you're putting that in your corporate structure. That's big. We get that. That's the way most of us look at that. The way I looked at that, and I believe it's still going to happen, the way I saw it was that is the door to kick in. Because if you look at the advantages and the privileges that Circle have been given, I'm telling you, they've been given advantages over many, many other stablecoins, in which to get them there. Okay. So when you purchase that company, all those old contracts, all those, brokered deals in the back rooms that nobody heard about in the background, they get in those new rooms. And let me tell you, parent company Circle, let's just say they're fully connected. That company is fully connected. Look at their history, who they are, and look at what's behind them. Yeah. Now, how does that apply to the future of this coin? How does that make our world incredible going forward if you own this coin? Well, as we know, because we've been listening to YouTubers all over the world tell us the same thing, and I've been saying it for a long time, I pat myself on the back a lot here tonight. Yeah. Years ago, I said that CBDCs would fail. I said they will not succeed. And everybody told me you're wrong. No, you don't understand. It's the new thing, and they're coming. Maybe I'm wrong about that yet too. But what exactly is a stablecoin? A stablecoin is just a CBDC. The only difference between the two, I mean, if you're just looking at true code and the way it operates and the way the whole thing works, the only difference is the CB part, right? Which is central bank. Instead of a central banker, it's, oh, I don't know, circle banker. It's Ripple banker. It's B of A banker is a stable coin. Essentially the same product. Okay. So what you and I need to really focus on going forward is, what do we know about Circle? What do we know about Ripple? And what do we think their actual all down the road motives are? What are their motives? We hope they're benevolent, and we hope that they're going to do well for mankind. At this point, I believe they are. I personally believe that. I've been wrong a lot, and I would hope they never prove us wrong. But the more doors they kick in and the more ability that they have to open more doors globally and the more use case for those coins, that is going to empower them and you and I, because you're looking at not just Hidden Road, which they adopted. Now you're looking at Circle, and now you're looking at XRP, and now you're looking at Ripple. And it all becomes RLUSD, not the XRP part, but it all becomes RLUSD. Well, when you're the issuing bank, okay, now we're no longer the central bank. We're now the issuing bank going forward. What are the privileges with that? The biggest privilege to me, in my eyes and my knowledge of banking, is that they get to set the rates. That's what central banks do today. You're aware of that. I know you all know that. What happened in 1913 was they were enabled to set the rates for the world, essentially for the world. Started with the US, basically. But who are they to come in and say, the price of you doing business and you borrowing money to build onto your business cost you 5% in interest? That eliminated, completely obliterated, free market. We have not had a free open market since 1913. No matter what anybody tells you, we have not had capitalism since 1912. I don't care what they call it. It's not capitalism. Capitalism is a free and open exchange. You cannot be free when you have a central body setting interest rates. That's the opposite of capitalism. That is the 180 degrees of said capitalism. Look it up. Now that we're past that, what's the privilege? We went over this in my video a couple of years ago. It's so good. It's so important for today's world. The reason why I thought CBDCs would fail is because CB part. And why I thought stable coins would succeed is because now you have an open and fair competing non-centralized entity creating interest rates for you. How do they create interest rates? You're going to be able to say, I want $1 million. I want to borrow $1 million, and I can borrow it from RLUSD. Why? Because RLUSD is going into the banking business globally. Period. That's where it's all headed. We all know it. But credit cards do not like they do not like stablecoins. Fighting tooth and nail. So what are they doing? What is MasterCard doing? Oh, we're going to get into that. We're going to be a stablecoin company, and we're going to work with all these other companies, and we're going to weed our way in and infiltrate our way in there, because what is a credit card? It's a stable coin. Only it's the good side of the stable coin in their eyes. which is, well, we get to print money, which is exactly what a credit card does, is prints its own money, lends it to you, you borrow it at a percentage interest rate, and then you spend it and you pay them back. If you pay within the terms, 30 days, you don't pay any interest. You pay after that, you pay through the nose. We all know the story. Now let's backtrack to what I just said a minute ago. If you have, gosh, I don't know, a dozen, I'm hoping there's at least a dozen, more likely stablecoins will reach probably 100 to 200 different stablecoins around the world. For number one, there's 190 currencies, right? So I'm guessing 200, at least that many. And then you're looking at, private companies and banks and other people are going to try and stay in the game and stay afloat. As long as we can keep stable coins decentralized, not ACB. And this is my fear. This is what bothers me about regulation. This is what bothers me about what's happening in the White House today. I don't need a committee of people slapping each other on the back, telling me what's right for me. That sounds like 1913 all over again to this man. I don't need a committee telling me what's legal and what's wrong and what's right. I like black markets. And on black market, I don't mean it negative light. I just like an open air market to where you go there and you negotiate the price. That's a real market. That's called capitalism. Okay? You can't have an open and fair system with only one bank, central bank. You can't have an open and fair system with a book full of political rules and red tape as to hoops you have to jump through before you can even open a stable coin. What's the matter with that picture? Right? What's the matter with that picture? We don't need it right now. And I know they're trying to do good things, and I know they're trying to do what's best for mankind, and I get all that. But every time you do that, every time you try and control a market or you take freedoms from it, you destroy the lower class. Because the only people that can lawyer up and figure out an accountant are the people that can break all the rules at the top, the printed laws and rules, and they take advantage of them to their own degree. Joe Sixpack has no chance in that. That is not decentralization. That is not why crypto was created. So, do I believe in the people in Ripple? Currently, they've shown me nothing that tells me that they are not out for all of us. Everything I've heard, everything I've read, every one of them I've met, I appreciate the work, their hard work they're doing. And I understand legislation to some degree has to say something. I get that. But I got a mosquito buzzing around here. Why can't the legislation just say, well, stable coins, so long as you have the money that you say you have, you can do business? Why is it this man's opinion that that's probably not what the law is going to say? That's probably not all that's going to be in a 1,000-page document. That's not how they're going to, I'm saying? That's not what they're going to do. But it should say that. That's it. Can you back up dollar for dollar of every dollar that you say you own and every stable coin, and it's based on the dollar and it's straight across the board? This committee's adjourned. Let's go to lunch. That was easy. Why did they never do that? It's up to us crypto people to understand what we own, what we hold. We have the future of mankind and the control of the future of mankind in our hands. And it really, really makes me worry. a lot about the control and the power that we're handing to people. And I'm not even talking politically at this point. Okay. At least we have people that are trying to do something with it, as opposed to the last regime. Whether you like either one, doesn't matter. Okay. That's kind of the rant that I wanted to go on about stable coins and where they're going, because they're coming to a bank near you and everybody's going to have them. It's not going to be just a couple of banks out there. We know that. And I think the leg up that Ripple is going to, clearly they're coming after that coin. And let's be honest, they've got the money to buy Tether. You wrap your head around that one a little bit, okay? And I know people don't like Tether. Every time I say the word Tether, that's great. There's two things you can't say to an XRP army person, and that's you can't say the word Tether and you can't say the word Bitcoin. I don't know. It's like a phobia or something going on. But anyway, I believe in both those projects because I do, and I'm an independent thinker, and I'm allowed to think and like whatever I like to think, and so are you. So tonight we're going to open it up to some questions here pretty quick. Like I say, I've got a hard stop, and that's 25 minutes from now. So we are going to open up some questions, and that'll make things fly right by. So if you, I almost forgot I had a question. I don't know much about the bottom 2 million coins. I really stopped studying new projects, and I have to, because I've had a lot of new listeners, and I want you guys to know something, this is this man's philosophy going forward with crypto. They're always saying, Alan, do you like this coin, this new coin? They're new to the channel, and they're like, they don't. I like all the ISO coins. I mean, I really do. I don't own them all, but I do like them. Use case going forward. I really like the top 10 coins, and I'm talking the top 10 coins up from the top 1 to 10. Okay. Those projects have stood the test of time. They have network effect. There's people like you and I just found out, I misstated this in a video. I thought there was 50 million XRP wallets. There's actually only 6 million, almost 6 million. So these 6 million users of this group tell you that we have a base. That's huge. New coin, how many base do they have? How many people in that network? So you're telling me that their idea and their code is so great that the 500 people that have the coin are going to change the future of the world? I mean, maybe, right? These coins come out of nowhere. But the times of them coming out of nowhere and succeeding are diminishing. You can't hit 1000x home runs like you used to. It used to be all you had to do is swing enough bats, and boy, you're going to hit one because it was happening all the time. Now, does that mean that I don't think there's going to be 1000x returns on a lot of these coins? I've talked about it before. I honestly believe HBAR before the end of this year is going to be in the teens. Yeah, that's right. I said it. That thing is about to explode. That's my opinion. Okay. Looking at charts, looking at Elliott waves, looking at where it's at, look at where it was, what it's doing, the adoption of it, the fundamentals, the network of it, you're looking huge, in my opinion. Okay. I'm not trying to sell coins here, but what I'm saying is if you don't have all of that, if you don't have great code, if you don't have a great team, if you don't have a network around you of people that believe in you, if you don't have a social media presence, your coin will fail, period. I don't care maybe if you cure cancer. Okay, I'll give you that. Maybe your cure cancer coin. Shy of that, it's it's the way this market is right now. That's where we're at. So I must have had 10 people ask me that. What about this coin? And what about this? And what about, people ask me a lot about Flare. I love what Flare's doing. I think it's fantastic. And I do. And I even own some of it. I think I do somewhere. Anyway, haven't looked at it lately. I love the project. I think what they're trying to do is incredible. I love Ondo. There's coins in the periphery, if you will, that are very key players. Are they the top 10 coin? No. Are they ever going to be? Maybe. But those long shot, and I'm not calling those two coins long shots. I'm just saying they have to prove themselves in all those parameters that I just gave you. And currently they're not. They're not those. So in particular, at my age, you say to yourself, well, do I want to wait 10 more years? You have to remember, I've owned these coins, these top 10 coins, for like 10 years now, over 8 years. And isn't it odd that I bought all those same coins 8 years ago, and they're the same ones at the top today? Maybe that's odd to you. Everybody that told you Shiba was going to be up at the top, it never passed Bitcoin. Did I get lucky? No, I did a lot of research the first few years of like, what is this project? What is it doing? Who's behind it? Where's its adoption? What's its use case? Who needs this coin? Does it have a presence on social media? And I'm not talking about a bunch of hackers with meme coins. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about true groups and multiples of channels, and those channels talk about nothing but that coin, which I don't necessarily believe in that, because I'm 90% XRP, because in this man's humble opinion, it's the opportunity of your lifetime. Its adoption rate could absolutely go ballistic. And I don't know any other coin. Bitcoin clearly cannot grow at the rate that XRP can. Why? Because it's all billionaires buying it now. That also tells me it's not going anywhere. It's not going to zero. But it tells me that multiples are going to be very difficult in the future. I mean, if it goes 10x, it's $1 million. Well, who's going to run out and buy that? Right? Nation states only. So if we 10x, we're $22. You see, it's got that market. It's got that viability going forward for it. And that's human psyche. That's trading. What do you mean I have to spend $1 million? If we both 10x from here, what, I got to spend $1 million on this thing, and I get a couple of Satoshis, or I can, or I could buy XRP for $22. They're still going to be buying at $22, big time. See, we're like, even Ethereum, it hit that $4,000 level, and then it just dropped off. It's just like, well, that's too expensive. We're not buying it. So retail's not picking it up. And everybody that told me 8 years ago that, oh, that's terrible, that there's 100 billion XRP coins. That's just too, it's too large a pool. There's no way we're all going to get, it'll take forever to get to $1, That's what we heard back then. Only thing this man really messed up is I didn't buy more of it in 2017 and 16. I remember researching XRP when it was under a penny. Yeah. Talk about regrets. Talk about a handy little piece of kit for you would be a time machine, right? I think I'd go back about a decade and buy a little bit more of a lot of the coins. But you have that opportunity today with some of these coins. But let me backtrack a little bit. You can't just buy the 85th coin and expect that it's going to do what XRP did in the last 8 years. I'm sorry. That's as much as I'd love to say that's going to happen for you. There's 2 million coins. And they all have great ideas. All of them. Well, other than the rug pulls. Yeah, like, we have to come to some form of reality, and we have to say to ourselves, what's real, not just realistic, what's happened before in mankind's history? How does the psychology of man, how does that work with this? How would that ever happen again like that? I mean, they've pulled all the meme names out, already, all the tricky little catchy ones. They're done. Yeah. So I'm not giving financial advice. I used to be qualified to do that. I'm no longer qualified to tell you that. I don't know how you can be qualified at one time in your life and then you can get 40 years smarter, but now you're not legally qualified to do it anymore. That one's interesting, really. Yet these brokers in Wall Street don't know anything about crypto, and they are somehow qualified to tell you about crypto when this man studied crypto for, 4 to 6 hours a day for a decade nearly. Anyway, and by the way, there's half the people in this chat are in the same boat I'm in. You've all studied at least that hard. Not all of you, but many of you. And it's awesome to be around you guys. I get in these, anybody that's met me personally will just tell you the same thing. What does Allan like to talk about? People, your future, your peace, your happiness, your kids, your dogs, your dreams, your hopes. Where else can you find that? Where else can you find a financial vehicle that brings? Do you really think that somebody buying Apple stock has a group maybe that's not a great example, but do you think they have get-togethers? Do you think they have meetups? I mean, we live in the perfect time to be a small investor. And I do mean small investor. I mentioned this in my last video, and it's so important because I heard the playback and somebody said, what did you say right there? And I was like, here's what I said. I met with Mikkel about a month ago. And the one thing that he and I talked about off camera that resonate, I mean, he and I talked about a million things, but he and I like to talk. You probably noticed that. The one thing that I got from him that I totally 100% agreed with, and by the way, Jake Claver, same boat, maybe even more so with Jake. The single greatest opportunity in the history of man is what we're in right now. In particular, in my opinion, XRP. But what he and I agreed on in person was the number. You don't need tens of thousands of these. It's going to be that big. It's got to be that big. That's simply math. Okay. You're at the good end of the math equation on this one. Even if you're buying today at 220, you're just there. And all those people that tell me, oh, well, you don't understand, Allan, those multiples, for XRP to get to $100 or $500 or $1,000 is mathematically impossible. I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, good luck with that one. Sure. Yeah, I heard that. I remember when I was buying Bitcoin when it was $400. And I remember everybody saying it'll never get to 1,000. Well, let's see, they're about 107,000 times wrong, really, aren't they? Yeah, they are. So the coins you own, be careful. Long shots are good if you're 25. The problem with being 25 and buying a long shot is you don't have any patience. Unless you're a bigger man than I was at that age. And most of you probably are. I talk to people all the time. I just talked to Thomas yesterday was it yesterday or the day before on the phone? Brilliant. I don't say this enough, and I'm going to say this, and it's really important. The people that are under the age of 25 are some of the smartest people ever born on the face of this planet. Period. I don't care what you think of them personally. I don't care what you think of them, their work ethic or their knowledge base, or they don't know how to change a tire. I don't care about any of that. What I'm telling you is that is going to be the single greatest generation that's on this planet. Why? How do I know that? Because every generation gets better than the last. And I know there's not enough old people going around telling you that. But I know it to be a fact. Because, see, the eternal energy of all of us only gets better generationally for the rest of the time your soul, which is eternal, is around. And you'll come back, if you believe in coming back in another life and another life and another life. And to some degree, you will have retained some of the incredible wisdom and insight. Just because they're 20 doesn't mean they're not some of the best people on this planet. Just means they're still a bit immature. But I look at my son and I say to myself, was I that man at 38 years old? No, I was not. That tells me every time I resonate. And this is difficult for a lot. I don't know how I got on the subject. It's hard for a lot of people to meet people that are 40 years younger than they are. It really is. Crypto does that for this old guy, which is a huge blessing. Huge blessing. And I don't forget it ever, how important it is. I'm so fortunate. Anyway, before I get too emotional here tonight, let's get into this. I only have 10 minutes because I will sit here and ramble on. Let's see. Let's get a good question or two in here. What are you guys really concerned about? What would you like to hear in the last 10 minutes? What do you got here? It's the market cap, several trillions, that many people can't believe. Okay, let's see. Let's get into that. Let's get into the market cap. Okay, so the market cap of gold is, 13, 14 trillion. Do you want gold? No. Well, I mean, some of us do. Some of the older people like gold. Is it the future of mankind? What happens to all the people that pass at 70 and 80, 90 years old? Their money goes to the generation below them. Does the generation below them want gold? Maybe the 40-year-olds today, but not the 20-year-olds. So what do we have? A decade, maybe? A decade before all the inheritance is going to go into, crypto instead of gold, possibly? Or 50-50 instead of being 90-10 today? So let's see. That market share is what? 10 trillion more than we are currently today? So virtually wherever you're on, you can 10x without a problem. But let's go back to what I just mentioned. Number one, the cream's rising to the top already. How do we know that? I just said that 8 years ago, I bought the top 10 coins, and they're still the top 10 coins. Now, a few of them dropped down to 10 and 15, but they worked their way right back up again, didn't they? So they're going to take the lion's share of the market cap that's coming your way. Let's also remember, are they going to print less money in the future or more money in the future? You remember when anybody that's my age, we never even heard the word billion. Yeah, that's right. Nobody even mentioned the word billion ever. And we throw trillion around like it's, wow, quadrillion's next, right? Do you have people that think like that they think in lack? They don't understand how many digits there are out there. That's the same person that would say, oh, well, there's not a quadrillion dollars out there, Alan. That's just absurd. There's multiples of a quadrillion of digits out there. And then let's say this. How big was, I don't know, Bitcoin 6-8 years ago? I can tell you because I been following it this long. It was number 68 in the value of all things on the planet. 68. And those of you who didn't get the memo, last week, it went from number 8 to number 5. It's the 5th most valuable thing on the planet. And it will be number 1 because of the inheritance I just told you about. Because big money buys big things. That's what big money does. And big money will come to XRP because big money understands network value. The multiples of buying a currency is so much bigger than buying a stock. When you buy a stock, you buy a sliver of a company. When you buy XRP, you bought the product. You own the product. The smart contract is cooked in the coin. It's right inside it. It's all the same product. And it can be anything you want it to be inside one coin. It can be the CEO of the company. It is, by the way, there is no CEO of XRP. That's different. That's different than buying Apple stock. It's a different market share. So what happens when the value of XRP becomes the value of all money? Oh, that's right. We're not talking about tens of trillions anymore, are we? That's right. Quadrillions. Because when you buy an Apple stock, it's not money. You bought it with money. Currency, digits, you know what I mean. But when Bitcoin becomes the collateral of the whole planet, it has to absorb the valuations of it, and will. And when you transact with Bitcoin, said position point A to point B, and you do it on the XRP, it has to become the value of that momentarily anyway. Is it still going to be $2? I know you guys all know the answer to that. No, that is not what's going to happen. So I hope I answered that. Those are small-minded people who don't understand numbers, for number one, and don't understand that just 10 years ago, okay, 10 years ago, our debt was $15 trillion less than it is today. Well, where'd the money go? Do you have receipts for any of that? That's how quickly 10, $15 trillion can be dumped into an economy. It's not even just an economy this time. It's going to be the future of digits of cash, of money. You're becoming the thing that the world wants to own. You're not becoming a collectible car or a painting or a share of a stock. You're becoming the thing. That was the big difference when I heard people a long time ago tell me this. Oh, Alan, crypto's not going to be that big. In fact, I even had this guy tell me medical marijuana is going to be bigger than crypto. And I laughed. I was just like, you don't understand. Crypto is going to become money. There's your multiples. There's your multiple. How much money is there? Well, that's what crypto is going to be. That's its market share. The only reason why it isn't today, and there's only one reason why it isn't today. The banking system doesn't want it, hasn't wanted it, and probably never will. Probably will never like it because they can't profit the way they have. Yeah, this is huge, guys. You guys, it's really hard for us to wrap our minds around this because this never happened like this. It's never happened like this. What we're essentially becoming is we're going from, I don't know, trinkets, beads, shells, from gold to a piece, shekel or so, a piece of gold, okay, to paper money. That's essentially the leap we're taking. We're taking the leap from gold coin to the flexibility and use case of cash, paper cash back in the day. Only times that by 10, at least 10. The speed and the use case and the global and AI is going to be moving this money around. It can't move currency. It can't move digits. The other thing that I want to say, and I say it a lot, but it's so important going forward, there's going to come a day when there's money isn't associated to a government. Who achieves that really well? Look at your top 10 coins. They're not owned by a government or controlled by a government. They're free for all mankind to use. We never had that before. The privilege of crypto is coming to mankind. And it's brilliant. And those of us who got the light bulb moment of understanding that, sometimes we forget that. It's incredible. We've never had anything like this. Never. Anything remotely close. And the doomsdayers and the haters, I know, I get it all the time. Most of the baby boomers are doomers, I don't know why. My generation, they're just, oh no, it's all going to crash and go to zero. I'm sorry. No, that's not what's going to happen here. It is wrap up time. Thank you so much, Becky. I think I answered one question here tonight. It's about how useless this man is. Hoofty, big ships turn slow. Roger that. That's a fact. Okay. That is a fact. Everybody, I do need to roll. I've got a meeting here, and the meeting is going to be I want to say this to everybody in the chat. If you are coming to the Bitcoin show, okay, I know many of you are going to the XRP. You're only going to be in town those 3 days. If you're going to be in town the 3 days prior and you want to go to the Bitcoin show, maybe get a hold of me, because B-Man, my wingman, Robin in this gang, is not going to be there, and I do have an extra VIP ticket. So I think it would be kind of fun if somebody really wanted to go, and you could reach out to me and we could just hang out or do whatever, and we could work something out on that. Okay. But I want you to be a Bitcoin fan. I don't want you to just go because, you want to talk XRP the whole time we're at the Bitcoin show. I just want to go through all the booths and really meet people and talk with people. So reach out to me if it's really in your wheelhouse. Other than that, I've got to bail because I'm already late for a date. Okay. I love you all. And I enjoy my Thursday nights. My favorite day is my Sunday. You should really look us up on Sundays. B-Man and I go over what we learned all week and what we really believe about the future of all mankind. So I hope you guys got something from tonight's stream, and I will see you next Thursday. Next Thursday, I probably will have to record it, but we'll see. All right, guys. Love you all, and I am out.